How we doing, everyone? So, let me just jump right into it. Obviously, from the title of the video, I am officially boycotting Wakanda forever. And before you guys call me all sorts of very colorful and exasperated names, let me tell you a little bit about me first. Okay, so I am a child of the 70s and the 80s. That is probably the most colorblind 2 decades of our country's history. I grew up watching Fat Albert. Okay, that was like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing for me. So, and there was like 8 years of it. So, I also grew up with Miami Vice. Crockett and Tubbs were partners for 5 years, and nobody ever called Tubbs black, ever. Riggs and Murtaugh. How many movies did we have with them as partners? There was the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons lasted for like 11 years. And I mean, I used to swing my arms back and forth like Jefferson. I mean, it's not because I was, I saw myself on the screen kind of thing. He was funny. He was, it was, if you wanted to be funny, you acted like George Jefferson. It was funny. Nothing to do with color. There was nothing to do with color with any of these things. Good Times. There was another 8 years, from the 70s to 80s. The Cosby Show, another 8 years. So if no white people were watching these shows, how could they possibly have gone on for 8 years? Because it was universal. Color did not matter during those 2 decades. You're probably saying, so if it's not about color, plus, look behind me, all right? My favorite character from the X-Men is Storm. Storm is my favorite character from the X-Men. It's the only X-Men statue I even own. So I don't have Cyclops, I don't have Wolverine, I have Storm. And I buy pretty much everything that she's in. And on top of that, I was friends with Nichelle Nichols. So, she signed this for me. So it's not a color thing. The reason I'm boycotting Black Panther has absolutely nothing to do with race. So you're probably saying, so Frank, if there's nothing to do with race, why are you boycotting Black Panther? Because that's obviously all there is. I'm boycotting it because of a more marginalized race than black. What's that? Atlanteans. Yes, they're a fictional race. But I love Atlantean stuff. All right? I've been a fan of Atlantean stuff forever, and everybody was making fun of me decades ago when I was a fan of Aquaman. Aquaman is one of my favorite DC characters. Probably characters, period. So, of course, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman's right up there. And a lot of people don't like Aquaman, didn't like Aquaman before the movie came out, and he's a little bit more raised now than he was, but not like he was, not like he has been in the past. He was, throwaway character. But I always loved him. I mean, when I was a kid, I was watching Super Friends, and he was riding around on the seahorse. I was all in. Not to mention Mera. So Mera is one of, these are probably, you probably have my 3 favorite female characters literally right here. So this is the Amber Heard Mera. I also have a comic version statue as well. And I have obviously an Aquaman statue as well. She obviously screwed everything up, but I don't know. I love Atlantean stuff, and for them to take Namor, not Namor. What the? Who is on? Let's just call him Namor. What? And it's supposed to in the movie. It's supposed to be a translation for boy who had no love, or something to that effect. Loveless child, or loveless boy. Meanwhile, Namor, in the comics, his name translated into Avenging Son. Which would you rather be? The Avenging Son or the boy without love? So I just can't abide what they did to Namor. So Namor was actually, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Namor was actually created before Aquaman. Namor was one of the first Marvel characters ever created. He was actually in Marvel Comics #1. This guy has a history, okay? And I know that not a lot of people know the character, so they're like, who is this guy? Who cares if you race swap him? And not only race swap, but completely alter his origin story. So he's not even Atlantean anymore. There's a whole new race. I'm not even going to look into it because I just really don't care. So they made him, Mayan or Aztecian, or again, whatever the actual specifics are, I don't care. Because as far as I'm concerned, they just messed him up, and all the specifics of how they messed him up is irrelevant to me. So they have him in these big headdress. They have him with this nose thing. No, he was clean cut. He had the kind of like the Black Adam widow's peak. And, same thing with that Black Adam, too. He had the pointy ears. Now, some people said that he does still have the pointy ears in the movie, but I haven't seen it in the trailers. But, again, I don't care. So me not going to see Wakanda Forever has nothing to do with, even with the fact that the child was not even in it. In fact, the toy companies are having a big problem. Disney's having a big problem with the toy companies right now. Because, obviously, action figures are meant mostly for boys. Boys are the ones buying these things, right? And all of your main characters are female. And you have no more Black Panther. So, how many... And again, I know we live in this world of identity politics and race and blah, blah, blah. And I have to see myself on the screen, but that is just not the case, man. For my female characters, am I a black woman goddess? No. But yet, I buy anything that Storm's in. And it has nothing to do with seeing myself on the screen. Do I identify with these characters in some way? Do I like the elevation, like for Storm specifically? She is a leader, okay? As soon as she walks in the room, she grabs respect, okay? She demands it, and she's smart, and everybody respects her, right? So when she walks in the room, everybody quiets down because everybody wants to know what she's got to say. And not to mention the fact that she's powerful, etc. And those are the kind of things that I want to live up to, right? From when I was growing up, Storm's a leader. She started out on the streets. She was stealing to live until Professor X found her. And again, I'm going way off base of Atlantean stuff, but I'm just trying to say that here's a character that I respect, and I wanted to become. Now didn't want to become a black woman. I wanted to have those aspects that she had, and that's why I like her above any other character. Like, yeah, Wolverine's cool. Everybody likes Wolverine. He's this little 5 foot, guy that has an anger problem. I had enough of that in my lifetime with my father. I didn't respect, Wolverine. Not like I did with Storm. So, again, here we have these Atlanteans, that we have this underwater, and that's one of the things. Okay, so I hate Momoa. I don't hate him as a person. I hate him as Aquaman. He's not Aquaman. So, this is what I'm saying. They've screwed up every Atlantean so far, and I do not know why. But again, probably nobody was seeing Aquaman without Momoa in it. Okay, we could have found somebody else, because, again, nobody really respects Aquaman as a character, so we had to bring in someone else to elevate it. But Aquaman was created, he was a king. And Namor and Aquaman basically have exactly the same origin story. Aquaman came out 2 years after Namor, 1941. And they both are a hybrid, okay? There is a a princess from Atlantis and a human. Okay, which is why Lady Dorma is blue. Okay, so Lady Dorma is his love interest, Namor's love interest in the comics, and she's blue. Most of the Atlanteans are blue in Marvel, um, but but in Aquaman they're not. They're all different races, but yeah. So it's so he was created as a leader. I think I talked about this with my Aquaman review, and Momoa does not come off as a leader at all. He comes off as a heavy. He's a grunt guy. I mean, Mera called him stupid probably 3 or 4 times inside that movie. And you would never, ever call him stupid. And if you did, you probably lost your head. So with Namor also, why I'm also a big fan of Namor is because he appeared in Fantastic Four many times. And there was a shy away from everything because he heavily came onto Sue Storm or Sue Richards, depending on when it is. But I mean, he was constantly lusting after her, and even when there were times when Reed Richards and she were on a break, and it was alluded to that she got with him when they were on a break. So and I'm a big Fantastic Four fan. So boom, of course I'm a big Namor fan, and I just don't understand why Hollywood can't get to this right now. James Wan, this is why I love Aquaman. He got the world right in the movie. The world was great. And he got Mera's powers right. He was stuck with Momoa. Of course, Momoa has all these tattoos, and I spoke about this before, and this was Snyder's crap, saying, okay, he has tattoos. How? How did he get tattoos? He cannot, you can't pierce his skin. He's like Superman. He's underwater. His skin is, rock hard, like Luke Cage. Like in the show of Luke Cage, they couldn't pierce him with a needle if the needle broke. The same thing. You can't give him tattoos. You can't pierce his skin. In the movie, he took an RPG to the chest. It exploded. And he just got up and walked away. How are you going to put a needle in him to fucking give him a tattoo? It's stupid. It's just stupid. But again, we're stuck with this stuff, and Snyder was probably like, "Oh, Aquaman with tattoos. Why didn't I think of that? We got an actor with tattoos is great." Yeah, whatever, man. Get your friggin' head out of your ass. So we have Namor that's messed up. We have Aquaman that's messed up, but at least we have an Aquaman movie with a world building and with Mera that was correct, and that's why if they take Mera out because of the whole Johnny Depp thing, I'm going to be really, really upset because I'm not going to stomach Momoa without Mera. And I just hope Blake Lively. You want to stick Blake Lively in there, who looks almost like the same character. I'm fine with that. Put Blake Lively in there. Just don't eliminate the character because of the actress. But again, we have 2 characters with the same background that are messed up from 2 different companies in 2 different movies. At least Aquaman was closer, At least his origin was there, The character wasn't there, but at least his origin was there. I don't even get that with Namor. I was so looking forward to it that, Namor's going to be in Wakanda forever? Yes. And then I see it, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And you could say, well, they wanted to represent not white people. That's great. No problem. Because Namor always he came to me as if he was Asian. In fact, here's a couple of examples of what an Asian guy would have looked like as Namor. And that would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. But the guy I have, Huerta or whatever his name is, he's not Namor. He doesn't come off as Namor. Namor was, he was manly. Okay, toxic masculinity to the nth degree. All right, you just didn't mess with him. It was his way or the highway. He was part of the Invaders when Torch to begin with. That was his first outing. He was part of the Illuminati, which if you saw Doctor Strange, technically Namor should have been in there. But we get this crap, and I'm over it. I'm over it. I will not support any kind of movie where they destroy a character that I love. And Namor and Aquaman. At least again, Aquaman was close, and I didn't even pay to see that one in the theater because I was boycotting Momoa. But when I did end up seeing it, the world building got me and lured me in. So anyway, tell me what you guys think. So I won't be seeing Wakanda Forever, so you can tell me how that is, and we'll see how much money the toy companies lose by them not replacing T'Challa. I know it was probably something that they debated for a very, very long time, but every video I've seen from every race and nationality has said they should have replaced him, and even the Chadwick Boseman's brother came out and said yes, you should replace him because this is what he helped build the character. There should be a progression. Like James Bond and Doctor Who and whatever else, and somebody else takes over the role. But anyway, so that's my 2 cents. Make sure you share and everything like that. Oh, and we're in the last few days of Tales of Ravenor. If you haven't supported that yet, please go ahead and do so. It's going to be a wild ride. And yes, I have diversity in that. Yes, there are black characters in that. Black, Asian, a lot of Asian actually, white, Greek, it's all across the board. Because again, my problem isn't diversity, it's taking a character and destroying it just for the hell of it. That's where my problem is. It's nothing to do with anything else. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll leave a link in below for the Tales of Ravenor Kickstarter page. If you want to go check out that, the video and the first chapter is on an audiobook on that, and the Destiny Aurora, I'll put a link for that as well. The first audiobook is now on Audible, so definitely go and check that out as well. All right, I'll put the link back down there as well. All right, thanks a lot, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.